You guys are live.
You said we're live, then.
100%.
All right. Welcome back, Star Wars fans. I don't know if you were at lunch or not. I was out shopping because we need groceries, but now we're back. Uh, Justin Miyashiro here with you with Chris Goglin joining me for this game. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Pretty good. It is -3 degrees outside in Colorado, so glad to be inside.
It is 55 and sunny here in New Jersey today after our thunderstorms last night.
All right, but we have what are we on? Game 4, is that right?
Game 4 already, just cruising right along.
All right, and we have Casey against Robbie, I believe is what it was.
Looks like if the Texas Rangers hat.
Okay. So I was trying to get my Twitch to come up here.
Robbie's playing WHAP. Casey's playing Hunt Down. Neither very surprising from either player.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Casey, of course, made top 8 of Worlds this year with Hunt Down, so that's well within his range. And then Robbie, I think well known for playing WAP.
Yeah, as he only plays 2 light sides usually. It's either WAP or Senate, right? So
some people like episode 1. That's, you know. Man, sorry, I'm struggling to get my Twitch login and everything going. And
Casey grabbed the prison with Sonic, and Robbie's grabbing Naboo. Looks like Amidala, Ascension Guns, and General Kenobi. Maybe that's not Amidala.
No, sounds pretty typical so far.
Yeah. And this is pretty much just either a fight over the throne room or, you know, depending on the variant, if light side can go space, they tend to just go their system and the courtyard and just leave dark side in the throne room.
Yeah, I know Hunt Down, like traditional, like a 12 card Hunt Down, has potentially the advantage of access to a lot more characters that can fight WAP. Like I remember from a couple of years ago now when Hunt Down Virtual was really big, WAP could actually be a troublesome matchup for them because they only had the one lightsaber and one like EPP character like Mara.
Right.
But they like couldn't play anything else with lightsabers besides Vader. So it could be kind of difficult for them to actually hold the throne room. Whereas traditional Hunt Down, you got Maul and Kylo and all everybody's at the party. So
yep.
Yeah, Indie Gamer, I think Hunt Down should be advantaged here would be my expectation, but
this is kind of the you know, it's a light side mains versus dark side mains. The Hunt Down characters are bigger and better, but if, you know, certain tricks or certain destiny draws go the light side player's way and they can take the throne room and hold it, you know, if they can flip, it gets very problematic for Hunt Down.
Yeah.
Because all those high destinies just come back to bite him in the ass. But in this particular case, it's the flipping to begin with. Now, Casey didn't get a lot of his activation.
Yeah, just getting Sonic is pretty low.
Right. With a 12 card start, only getting 1-2-0 out, you know, it doesn't really give him a lot. And Robbie's got the advantage of Amidala being cheap, Panaka being free, and a Jedi possibly and start the shuffle.
Yeah, and Indie Gamer, I think you're exactly right on that. The forced choke for WAP can be quite a challenge in this matchup, although that looks like a docking bay over on the side for Robbie. So he's got a little bit going. So we got General Kenobi going down to the courtyard. In WAP, everything has to deploy to the courtyard until you get flipped.
Right.
Did he replace that with a foil or something? I don't really know what just happened there. All right, and then he pulls that looks like the non-unique Jedi lightsaber with Jedi business.
Yeah, probably not doing matching lightsabers here just to keep the deck a little more flexible.
Yeah, I've seen kind of either way. The non-unique lightsabers certainly increase the appeal of something like somebody like Mace Windu.
Hmm.
So Mace Windu, like General Kenobi, does something if he doesn't have a weapon, but Mace really doesn't do anything. So that is a handmaiden.
Sabe?
Sabe, yeah, was my yeah, yep. Casey's not sure either, so he's gonna look.
And we're all going to Jemp to pull up her card text to see what the heck she does.
Is she the anti-undercover spy one? I think she is. There are two virtual handmaidens, as I recall, that are actually pretty cool. The anti-undercover spy one's actually, I think, a strong card. On the other hand, you can just like you can just play like free ride combo now, so
Right.
probably doesn't matter to have a character that has an interesting way to crack an undercover spy, but you want some characters anyway, so.
Nope, that's not Sabe. That's
So see Ascension Guns, Yoda, 3PO, tracking us, hear me baby. It could be worse, Naboo system in Robbie's hand. Sache. Okay.
yeah, that's Sache who makes Amidala defense value +2. And if she's just lost during a battle, you can use 2 force to take her back into hand. Like, okay. Doesn't jump out at me as anything awesome,
Oh,
but maybe there's
Dorme. Okay, because it's the virtual one, right?
that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Same picture. Yeah. Okay. And yes, you're right. That is the one who does break undercover spies. So in case there was like a U3PO or something.
So Casey found his Mustafar castle. Looks like he lost a Visage. What are we peeking with? Yane V final answer. Okay.
Problem with all these cards that look alike.
I do appreciate that the graphics team's been able to provide us with a lot more arts so we don't have to do as many C-slips.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot easier to remember what. No, it's Karen Knightley. No, Karen Knightley's a whole different card. It's like a blast door controls for Casey.
He's got Vane. He's got the castle. Okay, yeah.
Oh, it's Vane. That's how I got the castle. Okay, yeah, I see it over there.
2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. One for him is 10. And then a couple left or extra. So, and blast door control's already out.
Yeah.
So
Blaster
whatever.
control's very likely preemptive here. It's unlikely that he's going to battle this turn because he would need a spy in order to go to the hallway.
Yeah, no, he's just dumping his hand, putting everything out. He'll let Robbie move over, and then he'll just drop the house on him.
Yeah. Plays a first strike also.
He's just trying to get cards out of his hand at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. This is an interesting it's an interesting strategic line. Kind of leads you to think that he doesn't have much in his hand that he feels stable with.
Mm-hmm.
Because you would think like if he had like well obviously he doesn't have a Phantom Menace because if he's trying to get cards out of his hand he would have just played one. But
Right.
like if he had like Phantom Menace and like EPP Darth Maul like the OG or EPP Darth Maul he would have just played them to the audience chamber if he had or to the throne room.
Mm.
If he had like Vader and a force field or something he probably would have done that too. So Casey's opening hand doesn't seems to have not gone particularly great. So we'll see what he's got here because he is surrendering the throne room.
Yeah, he's essentially either setting up a counter beat, right? He's just gonna let Robbie move in, dump his hand, and then come down and try and clear it,
Yeah.
or he's just willing to concede and then go take the courtyard. I don't. Yeah, I think Casey's got to obviously have, setting up a monster hand that he's just going to go attack with
Yeah.
once Robbie moves over.
Oh, and Casey just let Robbie drain for one at a non-battleground. Something you don't see too often these days, but Robbie's pulling the other docking bay. Those are probably the two mobile ones, home one and profundity. Quick look through Robbie's deck. Pretty typical.
Yep. And we already saw Casey pitch a Maul's Infiltrator. Probably the only, I mean, he could be running an Emperor Shuttle package, which I don't know that is going to make Robbie want to put out a system in any type of space.
Yeah, one would assume that space is going to be a secondary priority for both players. So my instinct would be to say that WAP has better space, but typically that's because you don't see WAP go to space until they have secured the throne room.
Right.
And then they're like, well, my space is great because I can just cancel all of your good destinies. And then
I'm immune to less than 5, and if you draw anything greater than 3, I just cancel it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So like Emperor Shuttle and Emperor is probably a better space package like on paper than anything WAP can play, but WAP is only going to play their system and go to space once they have that protection, I would think. So Robbie's going to Ascension Guns, move everybody over. I believe he has to play Amidala in order to actually flip.
Yes.
Looks like 3 force for Amidala.
Yeah, that's a weird AI or something he's got there. Or
Yeah, I don't know.
Sticker card.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Not draw attention to that. Oh, Yanni is the force pile manipulation one. Okay, okay.
Go play a shield.
Okay. So Yane is additional activation, and you can peek at the top card of your force and reserve and switch them if you want. Interesting.
Robbie's
Not
hand. Yeah, Robbie's hand does not look good as we get a peek of it there. He has
no.
no defensive cards, no evasion. Like, I mean, obviously Barrier and Blast the Door Kit are out, but even something like an It's a Trap would be pretty important to have here, and he's got none of it.
Yeah, General Kenobi picks up Rex, so that'll be helpful.
I don't think he has enough left to put him down, though.
Yeah, it looks like only 2 active. Man, a known first strike on table. I guess he has their tracking us in hand, so I mean he might be thinking he can just pass with his force up so he can cancel the battle destinies. Kenobi's defense value 8 because of Amidala. Sure, makes sense. Oh, Casey drew over 14.
So he's using
Oh,
Throne back in the draw phase. Interesting. Okay.
okay. So he's probably going to play tracking us to activate a force during Casey's turn if there's an attack.
Yeah.
A risk Casey decided to run. He keeps force field and I am your father. Oh, and we put a real Queen Amidala into play. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh,
All
he
right.
didn't want the regular one. He wanted the AI. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would want the AI too. So Casey using his drop shield to protect force field and I am your father from thrown back. Now, we'll hope that the players do this correctly. The timing on thrown back is going to be could be particularly brutal for Casey here because the cards go to used after recirculate. So they will not be in Casey's reserve deck
Right.
for this next turn. So like for instance, if he drew Vader's lightsaber and it got put back with thrown back, he will not be able to pull it this turn.
Right.
or if he needs to, or if it's like all his Vaders or whatever, so he can't pull them with the castle or something like that. So we'll see if that matters. Why are we? Oh, right. Because the two force that Robbie used are also stay and used for
Right.
um
It's all
force
end of
control.
it's all end of turn stuff. So yeah, and then
Yeah.
Visage.
Oh yeah, and then the Visage thing.
Quick, out of commission.
AC does lose a Vader off of his use pile to Visage, so could be a back breaking out of commission. Or a totally ineffectual one. That's
Yeah.
the magic of out of commission transmission terminated. I would assume to be the combo.
So Casey's had a couple force left, plus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One for him is 11, and Vane giving him one more, 12. So he's probably looking at 15 or 16 to work with here.
Mm-hmm.
Not the ideal scenario with really nothing in hand for Robbie.
Yeah. He has. How did he get a force active? Oh, because steady, right. The another pathetic life form steady combo lets you activate a force during your opponent's turn if you have I believe Republic leader. So there's the Aimer father.
Once during opponent's turn, if Jar Jar or your EP1 leader occupies a EP1 battleground, you can activate a force. Yep.
Pretty strong card for WAP wanting to really always have a force active on your opponent's turn
Right.
once you're flipped. So
And it also limits Ellis and Neighbor. When we saw Casey, the first card he threw away to Visage was Ellis. So
yeah.
he's like, oh, don't need that.
So Casey's gonna spend. So Casey's gonna use his once per game pull on Mustafar Castle to get Vader. Wow.
His
Is it?
hand is got to be god awful at this point. Then yeah,
Yeah. He miss? No, he's grabbing his force pile and he didn't give up a verify, so he's counting. Okay.
yeah. So there's Enforcer with the lightsaber. Okay.
That is really not what you want though, because with your own first strike on table, you don't want to move Vader into the throne room and then pass to your opponent. I mean, we know Robbie doesn't have much in hand, but we know
Right.
he has the Rex. I
It's
guess Rex
abs.
gets canceled, so that doesn't matter. But
Yeah, but it's still 4 more power, and he's already looking at Kenobi with the lightsaber and Destiny getting canceled, and I mean
yeah,
Vader and who else is going there that isn't going
yeah,
to get overflowed.
yeah. Plus, I mean, Casey doesn't know that Robbie's hand is as bad as it is. Like,
Hmm.
there's only 5 cards, so he can assume there's not like a ton there. But like,
Right.
if he adds like Tarkin and moves Vader over, like if Tarkin gets Clash, that's a disaster. Like,
All right. So there's Kylo.
okay,
Activates the force with Yane.
oh, it's another strength of Yana that I hadn't really considered that she also gives you the activation on your opponent's turn.
Hmm. Same or adjacent site every time they deploy a character.
Yep. Hyperwave scan, so that will block.
The forfeit boosts.
Yeah,
Because
which Yane does add to her own forfeit while with Amidala. Does
and
steady add one also? It does,
yeah,
right?
the another pathetic life form combo does also add 1 to forfeit of Republic characters of ability less than 4. So her and Rex.
Yeah. It's like Casey is just setting up his weapon characters here. Now, of course, we've seen Robbie's hand, but like,
Mm-hmm.
so we know that this isn't possible. But this could be like a brutal Jedi's concentration turn. This could. So he put a card back. I assume accelerate.
Yeah, I missed what it was, but obviously there's a verify there, and there's nothing that he could pull with it, and
Yeah. It can't be Sonic because there was a plaza, so
Hmm.
loses Emperor and second Padme to Visage. Or I guess Amidala, Queen Amidala.
Hmm.
So we'll see how Robbie decides to go about his response here. Um, so he is going to use Yane to peek at his cards, try to set up a good weapon swing here. Although it doesn't really matter because Casey has a known force field in hand.
Right, that's what he protected. Yeah.
Yeah, so you just put a high destiny back and swing, burn the force field, and then draw it for battle destiny. Get to add one with Kenobi. Or I guess actually you probably save the Kenobi add in case you want to add to Casey's draw so you can cancel it. I guess it depends on which characters are hit and forfeit 0 when it comes time for battle destinies.
Hmm.
So we
There's
got
Panaka.
Panaka. So that'll protect Amidala
I don't recall seeing Panaka in hand. Okay.
and Rex. So I would assume that Robbie considers Rex more important here.
Yeah, trying to I mean, canceling Panaka's text is nice, because, but
Yeah.
still trying to target Amidala is not going to work out so well. Canceling the second weapon and the Battle Destiny adder, probably the more important of the two there.
Yeah. Yeah, because even though hitting Kylo Ren with Rex is not the easiest thing to do, because it's like Destiny -3 or something like that from the two swings or from the two draws. Um, you still really want the protection for Vader's forfeit here.
Right.
So Casey,
And the Jedi lightsaber, prevents, they're not forfeit 0, they just can't be used to satisfy attrition. So
yeah. So Casey pulls Coward to block the retrieval from his own first strike, and pulls Weapon of a Sith to protect against weapon levitation. Um, Robbie doesn't have weapon levitation, but that would be among the more devastating things that could happen to Casey here, is
mhm.
getting your Vader's lightsaber weapon leved.
Yeah, if you're in a situation like, this, and you start thinking to yourself, what's the worst possible thing that could happen right now? Well, my lightsaber gets stolen. This game's pretty much over.
Yeah, it would be really hard for Casey
Right.
to mount a comeback with Vader's lightsaber on Robbie's side.
Right.
Even if none of Robbie's characters can use it, it's still like just you not having it is
Right. He's already lost a Vader to Visage. There goes the second one. The lightsaber's gone, so that's not coming back.
yeah.
You know,
So
when we got to
blocking
verify earlier, we saw, Mauls and Ventress and people still in the reserve deck. So Casey doesn't have a lot of other utility characters to throw at him.
so
Vader losing his lightsaber here would be brutal. Yeah, sorry.
Robbie's just drawing now. Robbie doesn't feel super confident about this battle either. He's probably looking for some weapon protection, would be my guess. That would be the best thing for him to get here, would be like a Jedi's concentration.
He definitely needs something.
Did he get 3PO down? Is that the card?
Yes, off.
That's
Yeah, off frame there. Yeah, I think that's got to be 3PO.
the super glared card at the docking bay.
Did
All right.
did he just pick up a disarmed?
Uh, let's see if we can get a look at his hand. We know he pitched Onita to Visage.
That's a disarmed right below the ship.
Leadership. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ship and disarmed.
Oh,
Yep. And Vader gets disarmed here, which is not as bad as getting weapon left, but is pretty bad. That's
yeah. I mean, it definitely stings for sure. And now it's only one weapon to deal with, and
yeah. And Casey didn't get to draw too much last turn since he deployed those two characters. He got to draw a couple, I think, but
Mhm.
we'll see what he's able to add. So he gets his Blockade Flagship Bridge. He's got all his activation out now.
Yeah, he's
Plaza,
definitely
he still has access to the Plaza, but the Plaza is largely for a battle run, not for activations. He's not going to probably play that.
definitely out activating Robbie considerably here. Although every time he deploys a character, Robbie does get a little more force to work with.
Yep. I don't know what that red signed card is in front of Casey. Oh, the Accelerate. Okay. And spends some force for Ninth
Not
Sister. Costs one more because that's what
we'll take the long way.
that's the one. I was like, the we have a plan effect, whatever the name of it is. Imperials are +1 deploy to the throne room.
So it cost
Night,
him one more, and Robbie got to activate one more, and now Robbie can
yeah.
do his peak, which will help him set up destiny draws too, right? So,
And Casey's just trying.
yep, we're doing the old game of chicken here. Who's going to flinch first, right?
Yeah. Dan's saying no only on the 7 side. What does that mean?
Well, that's the activate one with the objective.
Yeah, he gets to activate one with Yane because the character was deployed there.
Dan, take a break. Go get something to eat, man. We got this. It's going to be a long day for you. We got this.
Yeah, I thought he was saying something about we'll take the long way, but we'll take the long way only deploys if the 0 side if we have a plan's on the table, but once
Right.
it's on the table, it doesn't care.
Yep, they're separate sentences.
Yeah. No, we'll take the long way works just fine on the 7 side. You just can't deploy it once you have flipped we have a plan. Yeah. It says if we have a plan on table, deploy on table, but then the rest of the text is just generic. So
There's a period, separate sentence. Yeah, there's
Yep.
no colon.
So
Is that a dark side Naboo?
I don't know. It doesn't matter, right?
I mean, the text is the same, but I gotta. That picture looks weird. Yeah, that's a dark side Naboo.
I definitely needed to purchase a Naboo system, and they sent me the wrong one. So I have 2 dark side Naboos and no light side Naboo.
Judge.
So kind of feels like neither of them found much. I mean, Robbie got the disarm, which was really big, but like Ninth Sister doesn't move the needle at all in this battle. Like
Now,
she's 4 or 5, she's 5 power, that's it.
yeah, a little
anything
power, a little more
else?
forfeit, and I mean, unless Casey's got a bunch of tricks to, like, you are beaten Obi or something, or
Yeah. Well, Jarrus Janik is gonna be a big deal because Vader can only cancel one of these characters.
Yep.
So
And they both pass again.
I mean, Robbie is kind of in the driver's seat here, right? Like he doesn't actually have to do this battle. If he just holds the throne room, now that he has space, he gets drained for 2.
Yep.
Admiral Killian on whatever ship that is. I don't even know.
It's one of the 2 Star Cruisers, right?
I would think it'd be one of the Star Cruisers. I mean, Darkside's just Huntdown's not going to have a ship that can crack that right now. So
right, we saw him lose an infiltrator earlier, and if Robbie has even looked at Casey's recent lists, because Casey played this obviously at Worlds and in the OCS playoffs too.
yeah, I mean the only ships that I would expect would be that I would expect could be in a Huntdown list would be like Emperor Shuttle most likely, and then like a slim possibility of a Zuckuss or a Z4. But like neither of those are doing anything. None of those actually are doing anything against a Star Cruiser and a flipped WHAP. Like,
nope. Now with him having a couple of force saved over there. Yep.
yeah. So Casey actually, I mean, could you say he got hunt down here? Is that, I guess TRM is actually the more common term, but we don't really see TRM anymore.
Yeah.
Like his 12 card hand just wasn't good. And then
nope.
All right, well, you got Darth Maul with lightsaber. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Although,
So,
doesn't Jarrus Janik prevent like all your leaders from getting targeted by weapons?
but if you cancel his game text,
Your leaders present might not be targeted. Yeah, but then he'd have to cancel Jarrus, which means he can't cancel Rex, he can't cancel Panaka.
right.
So
And Panaka still protects Amidala from getting targeted.
yeah. So it means that no matter how many weapons you add here, the oh, he's still got the Plaza in his deck. Those Destinies are real bad.
Mm-hmm. Couple of characters. The shuttle's still in there.
Yeah, 3 characters, Shuttle and Plaza, and only 3 red cards. They don't even
Right.
look like, I think it looks like 2 4s on the red cards even.
So apparently Brian Fred built the deck for Robbie, so I guess they're gonna just play it as it lies for now and then try and fix the card afterwards or something.
I guess, yeah. It's, as we said, it's not a huge, it doesn't like
The game
materially matter to the game, right? Because it is the same Naboo system, but
the game text is identical.
yeah. So that part doesn't matter, but like, yeah, he should still be playing the right one. So so Robbie's gonna play in Ascension Guns to get some cards going. He still has tracking. Oh, he found the Jedi's concentration. Oh man, ooh, that's real
Yeah,
bad.
he's got the concentration, he's got the leadership, he's got
Yeah.
they're tracking us as well, so he's got everything he needs at this point.
So Casey is gonna battle. He's gonna pay to retrieve. Robbie's gonna lose a force and then play the Jedi's concentration. Casey's gonna draw a card from his just action from Hyperwave Scan, but now Casey's got one weapon. He just has the P-59.
It's P-59 against Rex. Ready, go.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see what the powers are here. So Kylo Ren with lightsaber is a 6. Yeah, so it's
16, 20, 27 for Darkseid.
Night Sister is just defense minus. So 10, 27. Yeah, I think. Oh, Robbie has a lead. Right, Robbie has the leadership to add. Okay, so grab that.
So we're talking 3 battle destiny here.
Yeah. 6, 2, 4, 4, 16. Should be 22, I believe, for light side. Does Jarrus get power? No, don't add. Does Jarrus get power? No. Oh, Jarrus is power 4. Okay, so it's like 24 to 27, but it's 3 destinies against probably none.
Right. Unless Jarrus's game text was the one that was canceled. Well, yeah, because Rex just shot, so.
Oh, Rex, no, Jarrus's text was probably canceled before the battle, I would guess.
Yeah.
And Rex shot. So yeah, Rex is the other. You would cancel Jarrus or Rex here. It wouldn't be Panaka. So P-59's hit by Rex, I believe makes forfeit -3. Let's say. Forfeit -3. Those are not good. Is that
It
I didn't
was
see I don't see what the
Blast,
first character is.
yeah, Blast Reflection Mace, and it's a Republic character that I can't quite make out, but I'm sure at best. Oh,
Like
Case is just gonna scoop it.
Okay. Well, because this is Casey's battle, remember?
Yes.
So like he's gonna eat need to cover 7 forfeit while Robbie loses nothing or 1 character to P-59. Yeah, so
Now his guys are immune because of Amidala, right?
oh yeah.
So
Well,
they're
I
all
was gonna he might need to lose something if P-59 hit.
right.
I didn't see if he did, but
Yep.
yep. So yeah, Casey's gonna scoop it up. I mean, that is what WAP needs to have happen in order to win what we thought was an unfavorable matchup. Right? Like you
Right.
just you need you need Darkseid's draw to not be good and for them to not attack you when your draw isn't. Because like there was a window there where Robbie just didn't really have anything in hand,
Right.
so Casey potentially could have attacked and made some forward progress, but not having access to his hand, he can't know that, and it's just a disaster if he attacks in Robbie does have a lot of defense, so
Yep.
he just had to set up and wasn't able to punch through it. So
Robbie just put everything out there and was like, if you got it, you got it. This is the only way I think I feel like I can win this game. It's just to make you prove it all. And Casey didn't have it. So congrats to Robbie on picking up the win in a matchup he's probably like 70-30 uh working against there.
yeah, I don't. I think it's one where it's like this matchup wasn't like it's not as lopsided as um like a hunt down against like a Yavin 4 ops or something would be, right? Where like you're massively behind on plan and you just can't approach them at all, right? Like it's
Hmm.
not that bad.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean it's definitely it's the sort of thing where like yeah, if you knew that everyone in the room was going to be playing hunt down, you would definitely not play WAP.
Right.
So
Right. And I mean, having the space does give him did give Robbie at least the option to pivot mid game if he loses the throne room. He just sets up the courtyard in space and tries to just outrace his opponent.
yep, looks like Robbie's got the headset on. Robbie, I don't know if you can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you are.
Sweet.
Congratulations on that win.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
How are you feeling going into that one?
Drained because I had to beat Greg Shaw playing Shadow Collective, and that was all my brain power for the rest of the day. So, but really though, like Darkside mains versus WAP is usually a really good advantage for WAP.
Oh,
Um,
really? Okay.
yeah, yeah. Like Goglin, I heard Goglin kind of talking about it when I got on, that I can go to the courtyard, go to space, and kind of just outrace them, and that's part of it. Like I have the decision on what to do, and I
Right.
put them on the decision of what they need to do. And then I've got more deck manipulation. I've got a lot of different various things to do. Um, I mean, you guys saw I was activating like 8 force a turn, but I was still doing so much.
Right. Yane really helped getting that early.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yane. So like, there's Yane, Kit Fisto, 3PO, 3PO Puller, and the A New Hope R2, not the virtual, just the original one. So I've
Right.
got like 5 pieces of deck manipulation, kind of,
And
and
phantom activation stuff. Yeah.
phantom activations. And so like, yeah, I'm activating 8 a turn, but then another pathetic life form is getting me a 1 during their turn, and my objective's getting me some, and so I don't ever feel like mains is a bad matchup for Lap at all.
Oh, interesting. Well, you would probably know better than we would since you're the one who's actually playing it. So,
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, it's something that I've been playing for a while, and I haven't lost to Darkside mains in many years. Like I played it at that Worlds and the online Worlds because Hunt Down V was everywhere, and I was like, well, WAP just crushes it. So
yeah, that was one thing I did remember where from the online worlds that WAP was hugely advantaged against Hunt and V. I was saying at the beginning, but we spent that whole match saying that we thought you were behind. So
yeah,
looks like we were wrong.
it definitely looks like it if you don't understand the like. I mean, I've got a lot of new pieces in this deck. Like there's a lot of things that people probably haven't seen be played or put in a deck list for this.
mhm.
Um, like another pathetic life form, people kind of play it, but it's not heavily played. Yade's not really played at all. R2's not all that played, and like R2 can go on Rick and Ship for 1, and so now Rick and Ship is like power 10, hyperspeed 9, like defense
Right.
value whatever, and it becomes a real beating to have to go through. And like
It. Sorry. Go ahead.
the last battle with Casey there, I having Resolute up in space adds +1 power because of Naboo, and then +1 from Euler into like all my guys almost. And so like it, you get power bonuses from weird spots, and it becomes you underestimate WAP's total power, and all of a sudden you look and it's like 40. And you're like, whoa, what
Yeah,
happened?
we were counting it up in that battle, and in my head I was like, oh, well, it kind of feels like he's going to be behind in power, and like I'm pretty sure we miscalculated it, and I still only had you down by like 3 before Destiny's. So
Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, he might have been like ahead a little bit. I hadn't calculated. I think he was at before. I think he said he was at 25, and I think it was at 23. And I hadn't gotten Euler in or the Naboo bonus. I don't think so. I think I was at like 26 to his 25,
yeah,
and
Right.
then Destiny. So
Yeah.
which once I draw 3 and he's drew a 1, and like unfortunately for him when he drew from the hyperwave scan. He drew only he had a 5 and a 4, and then everything else was 3 or less. And I think there's only like 1 or 2 threes. And he drew the 5 off the top, and it was like, well, shit, that was a terrible decision to draw a card, but you don't know that. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah,
Yeah, the Destinies didn't look good on the verify, so
no, I think, I don't know, like, I mean, obviously when he can't drop Vader first turn against me without I am your father because he deploys first 7. Um, and so when he just draws first turn and he's played 12 card start, you gotta feel good.
Yeah.
And then when he just kind of spends the second turn drawing again, like I feel great. And then
Yeah.
I knew I had the free shield puller for the thrown back to try to get him there, so I didn't waste anything. And if I do get it, then great. It's just free putting cards back and putting him further behind because it's not like my hand was great. I had some stuff, but I didn't feel 100% safe flipping with Amidala, Yane, and Ogun.
No, you
yeah.
looked very vulnerable there for that first turn there, but luckily he didn't really have much else going on. Didn't have his activation out yet, so
Yeah, and like I said, once I got that free Monarch on him off the shield, like I was like, okay, I feel a lot better going into this with him having 9 cards instead of 15.
yeah.
And then when he has to use the text to get Vader, okay, I feel a lot better. So, and then I drew that timely disarm to hit Vader.
Hmm.
Like that's the thing. Like it's got so many tricks, and like Yane. I mean, Yane was putting me into so much. Like she found me the Resolute. I knew where that was at all times. Um, she
And the
found
concentration too.
Yeah, she found me the concentration. She found me disarmed. There was one turn where it was like Commander Cody or Leadership, and so like that could kind of go either way too. Like it was just she found me so many cards that I could want, and it was like this is great. Like what you're 3POing into. Like I had tough choices because I was down on cards.
Hmm.
Like I had to put Yoda back. I had to put some things back I didn't want, and it's not like I want to put back Naboo because eventually I want to go to space, and I wasn't sure if Casey really had anything for space. So, but I figured once we wore him down a little bit, it was safe to drop Euler in and Resolute there and just start getting that Drain of 2 going. And if we're just staring at each other on the ground, at least I'm doing 3
Hmm.
damage or 4 damage to his 2. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you're flipped, I mean, obviously that becomes a lot more safe to do because it's immune to less than 5.
it's always immune less than 5 if you got Anakin or Eulerin on there. Um, but yeah, obviously once you flip, you can cancel anything, so
Right.
it's harder for them to crack. Um,
Yeah. It took us like probably 2 or 3 tries to correctly peg which handmaiden Yane was, but yeah, she looked fantastic in that game.
yeah, so when we started testing for this event, like I found out in October I was going, and so Chris Kelly and myself and Carl all started testing really early. And the WAP list I had was kind of the generic stuff like the Camino, all that. And I don't even remember when, but like all of a sudden it just like hit this epiphany when I was just looking at various episode 1 characters and stuff. And like I went to Yane and I was like, whoa, this is kind of cool. Like against ISB, they're gonna drop like 5-6 guys. They're all +1 at the throne room, or yeah, and she activates there and at the hallway, and because
Hmm.
it's same and adjacent sites, so like
Yeah.
Yep.
it's ridiculous how much she can activate for you. And and then the deck manipulation. That's what WAP needs more than anything is deck manipulation. And so having multiple ways, like in all the playtesting we did, like the last few days up to this event, the last few months, the games I've lost are the games where I don't draw Kit Fisto or Yane or 3PO or R2, and like I can't manipulate my deck, I can't activate in weird ways, and I'm just kind of stuck. But if I get those, I feel like I'm gonna win the game. So like when I open hand 3PO and Yane, I just felt like I was gonna win that game.
Cool.
Awesome.
So
What's your record now, Robbie?
I am 3-1. I played Chris Kelly round 1, Matt versus Hitco, and the sad thing was we discussed last night right before we went to bed, since we were sharing a room, that the way I would beat Hitco if I played it, and so I just executed that strategy pretty flawlessly, and yeah, I felt bad for Chris. And round 2 I played Shaw, WAP versus SC. That was such a grind, like it was brutal to grind through it, but I ended up pulling it on time just because it's such a long game. But I think he finally knocked me out of space. But I think by that point I was doing like 8 damage a turn to not his 8 damage, and so I think I would have worn him down if we had continued. And then I played David Woods last round on the secondary stream, and I sat down. I was like, I'm just dead. I don't know what's going on. And I flipped map, and he drew Destiny for free. I never made him pay, never made him lose one. I just had a complete and utter brain fart the whole game. And so when he blew out Finalizer on like turn 3, I just said, yeah, let's go get early lunch and let me refresh and re-stretch the
Yep.
brain. So
Yeah.
like y'all know, like it's a grind playing 8 games. So if you could find a 1 round break to go do a quick refresh, it helps. So
Absolutely. Usually it's a little later, later in the day, you kind of like that, like game 5, game 6, like when
yeah,
we go into the home stretch feeling refreshed. But if you got to punt game 3 and just
yeah,
go walk it off, go walk it off.
yeah. I mean, I'd much rather start out 5-0 and be able to scoop a game in the later rounds just to like take a nap or something. But yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. So
Having
Absolutely.
you take your
having
breaks when you need
started
to.
having started 5-0, I would say like be very careful about the scooping in those games
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
sometimes it does not
Well,
work out for you.
to be fair, when you did it, there was like a 60 something person event, and so like 8 rounds, 60 something people, it's usually gonna lead to like 9, 10 person 6-2, usually somewhere around there. But we're at
Mhm.
like 35, 36 with 8 rounds. Like 5-3 is getting in.
Yeah, you're probably fine. It just stings. It
Oh, I
just will
know.
always stink. So
I mean, it's happened like at 2 of the last 3 worlds. Like you started out 5-0 and missed, and I think Connor started out like 6-0 and missed. Of course, he got to the playing game and then had to play Chew, but like, that's rough. Like, you know, to have to. You can't always
Mhm.
take those games for granted, that's for sure. But like I said,
yeah,
this is a smaller event, so like, I would imagine 5-3 is good. So
yeah. Good start's always better than not though. So
yeah, yeah. I
congrats
mean,
on.
I'm much happier being 3-1 instead of 1-3. I will say that. So
And that always helps your strength of schedule too, usually,
no, Chris.
losing games in the later rounds against players who are getting 5 or 6 wins. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Chris Kelly's killing it because he's 0-3, so that hurts. But yeah, I mean, it's whatever. Like, I know a lot of people think that they want to come to this and win. I just enjoy hanging out and having fun. I'm getting to play 2 decks I enjoy. Anybody who knows me knows. I mean, Gogolin knows because I sold him some of this stuff to the PC. But I sold off all my cards years ago. I sent a lot of them over to Europe to the Dutch group to help them have cards. So right before this event, I messaged Brian Fred and was like, "Hey, here's a list of a bunch of cards I want." And I guess you guys spotted it, but he gave me the wrong Naboo.
He
Uh,
did.
and so I blame him for that, not me. And I just totally forgot to ask somebody for it before then. But it's basically the same thing.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
as we were saying, as I was saying, it's like this is not the only time an online store has given the wrong Naboo. I
yeah.
have had that happen to me too. So
Well, and 9 times out of 10, you just like. I mean, Gogolin knows because we've been around and played the Senate where you always had Darkside Naboo, and there was a time where like Darkside Naboo was like $12 and Lightside was like 3. Nobody wanted Lightside Naboo, so
Yep.
like B-Fred just kind of assumed that. But it was definitely on the list of Lightside cards because I sent 2 separate emails. I sent one for Darkside, one for Lightside. So he had 2 lists and he just mixed it up. But
Can't imagine why a map deck would want to play Darkside Naboo, but hey.
yeah, exactly. So, but like now I'm down like just leadership's commands and mace from having both lists completely done, and and a Panaka, but that's because I want an AI Panaka. But I can always play the replacement mace because I mean nobody's really doing fets to add right now, so like even the other mace isn't terrible. He adds +1 to his power. Your clones get plus more forfeit, and it
Mhm.
becomes really really strong. So I don't mind playing that one if I have to. It's just the leaderships and commands that you have to find for them. So that'll be my next goal. But then I'll have 2 decks I enjoy playing, and I can always show up to an event and bring my own cards and play again. So, you know, I think it's great, like the amount of virtual cards and the way the game's gone to make it easier for us to get back into it.
yeah, I agree. I was thinking the same thing that you were just saying when you said which ones you're missing. It's like, well, all of those do have
Yeah,
budget replacements if you really need to.
right.
Right.
Uh, like
Obviously, like
obviously you would rather have non-combo leaderships and commands,
right.
but like when it like if it's a question of like, well, I won't be able to play without them.
Right.
Like, can I play the combo one and be fine? Like, yeah, like you can. Like,
Right, like obviously in that matchup, if I had the replacement one, I can't add a battle lesson against Casey, so that would be bad.
yeah,
But like,
yeah,
it still pulls Obi, and if you guys saw my opening hand, it was Yoda, no Jedi, like it was light on characters, and
Yeah.
you gotta have, you need a Jedi, and so having the leadership to pull Obi is as a backup is always nice. I mean, obviously, I think 9 times out of 10, I'd rather drop Qui-Gon there and feel a little bit safer, but you know,
Yeah, your hand early on was pretty light and pretty thin. There was definitely a window there where if he had the goods, you'd
yeah,
have been in trouble. But obviously he didn't have activation going, and when he puts Vader to uses Vader to pull over there, and like it's just Kylo, you're
right.
thinking to yourself like, okay, I'm good here. I'm just gonna stack up and then make him battle me, and then I can counter beat, and yeah,
Yeah, and like the way that game went was kind of weird too, right? Like you kind of expect Hunt Down to play something on the one, turn two, and when he doesn't, I like you can't pass the chance to just flip for free, even if it's a super light flip like that.
right.
And I took the chance, I flipped for free, and I relied on the deck manipulation and that ability to pull me out of the light draw that I had. And I mean, it obviously worked here, and I'm thankful for it. So
Right, better
yeah.
lucky than good.
yeah, sometimes it's helpful. So
All right. Well, congrats on the win there, Robbie.
appreciate it.
We'll
Congrats, man. Good job.
Thank you.
let
Um,
you relax and
yeah, thank you.
decompress a little bit here. So,
And thank you both for doing the commentary. I really appreciate it. I mean, it's always nice to have people that volunteer and help us out. And that goes for anybody listening. Like, if you want to learn how to do this, reach out to me or Dan, and we'll help you. Get in for commentary. We'll help you do streaming. We'll help you do producing. Getting into Streamlabs, whatever. We just want to help people do it. Like at the event setting up, I helped. Carl helped me, and I showed him how to do all the setup that we do. So. Um, like I said, again, thank you guys for taking time out of your day to do this for us. It's really appreciative.
yeah, we like doing it. So,
But all right, well, thanks guys. I appreciate it. I'm gonna sign off and go get some water and rest. So
all right.
Good
Good
luck
luck in the
rest of the
rest
way.
of them.
yeah, thank you.